Hi guys, Julie here. A few days ago on Instagram I posted that I was going to start a new journal, but I couldn't decide which book I wanted to use. I have this lovely vintage blue one, and it is an ex-library book. It is Silas Marner. It has a pattern on the cover, and it's that good old fashioned book cover, whatever they used to make it out of. I don't know. The date on this, the only date I can find is 1948. And it's in really good condition, of course, vintage spotting and stuff, but the spine is pretty much intact and it feels really good. This other one, which I picked up specifically to make a journal because it's a gorgeous color, and I've painted them this before, but I mean, how awesome is it to find a book this color? Lots of vintage spotting there, but look what book this is. You know, I'm almost tempted to read it, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the cover is really a gorgeous cover, so good job there, whoever decided hot pink was a good cover. But the decision's made. I'm going to use the blue one, and this is going to be a personal journal. I'm going to go ahead and work on making a new spine for it. I've decided I need a 3-inch spine because 3 is my number. So we're going to take this book apart and create a new spine and start journaling in it. First thing you want to do when you get a new book, you can see, if you look down here, there is a gap. So it means the pages are not attached to the cover, to the spine. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. My scissors will go right down in there. See? Oops. So literally all you have to do is take that off and, you know, cut that. That's what's holding it all together. This paper here in the gutter. So you can use your big scissors, or you can use your, what do you call this? Craft blade? I don't know. Just run it down the gutter. Just like that. And things should start happening here. There's a little book cloth in there. So I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut it up here. You can use this with the X-Acto knife too, but get good pressure with my scissors without going too far in. Because this little blade here, I'm telling you, is sharp. And I have gone too far before with it. All right, so just like that. And there's your book block, your signature blocks, and your cover. That's how easy it is to come apart. Now, I love to look back. If you look back here at the library card, 1962 was when this card was started, all the way to 75 on the card, and 75 in here. It was marked here 1950. So I'm feeling the date in the front of the book is pretty accurate. All right, and they're separated. Now remember, I said I want to do a new spine. I want to do a 3-inch spine, and this spine here is measuring right at 1.25 inches. Be my best guess. So I'm going to almost triple it, definitely double it. Right. So in order to separate that, and you know, I almost hate to separate it because still it's just a sturdy book, but it's okay. It's okay. So I'm gonna go find the natural place where my scissors kind of catch, and I'm just gonna cut it up. I love these scissors specifically for this. You gotta kind of have, not all books are, you know, in this strong of condition, but when they are, it's nice to have a sturdy pair of scissors to just make very short work of it. All right, the spine, the front, and the back, pretty much interchangeable. If you've got this going on, you just trim it up. I'm not going to worry about it if it's not perfect cut, which, let's face it, I'm not perfect. I very rarely do anything perfectly. Owning that. Yes, girl, yes. And I'm going to build a new spine for it. So what do I use to build a new spine? I'm going to use chipboard and felt. And usually I like to throw in some kind of Tyvek or that plastic paper. So I just go to, I have a chipboard here next to me, and I go through it pretty regularly. So I'm just kind of pulling out a piece to see what I have. Here's one, it's already got a bend in it and it's pretty flimsy. Here's a piece. So I was talking about 3 inches, and it looks like it's gonna be a little long, so I'll have to trim it. I like this weight of chipboard because I can trim it with my trimmer. So I go to my 3 inch, just pretty big actually. Let's just measure that real quick. We'll use this ruler here. So it's right under 8, right under 8. Okay, so I'm gonna take these and go, well, it makes more sense right this way, didn't it? Literally right under 8. So I'm gonna go down to about 8 1/8. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, 8 1/8. 8 1/16. All right, and then these excess pieces, I keep them. I just have like this old Ziploc bag. I recycle my Ziploc bags too. I just throw in random pieces, and if I need small pieces, then I've got a whole bag of them ready to go. These are my 3 pieces. Let me think about this for just a second, because I usually end up doing it differently every time anyway. So I think I'm gonna get a piece of Tyvek and go in between it. And I actually have a piece here from an envelope, some Happy Meal I received. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is have it be overhang in the gutters. So about 1 inch overhang, I think. So I'm going to trim it like this. No need to measure. It doesn't need to be perfect. Oops. Like that. And this Tyvek, it's like, you can't really rip it. It's hard to rip kind of thing. That's why I like to put it in there. It kind of provides some stability to any of the other paper items that I have in there. All right, so let me do a little cleaning up here of this. Okay, now I just need a piece of felt too, and some fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer these 4 pieces together like that. I think like that. It'll be like that, so that'll be an attachment to the cover. Then I'll do a piece of felt on the outside. I'm just talking myself through the process, and then fabric around the whole thing. That's what we're doing. All right, let me grab the felt. Okay, if you've seen some of my other videos, you've probably seen me use this hunk of felt. My mom gave it to me, and I just like the way it adds a layer of non-flatness or gives it a little, I don't know what the word is, a little cushioning to it. So I'm just gonna lay this here and give it a similar kind of trim. It doesn't have to be perfect. So 2 inside, 1 outside, and the felt like that. And maybe could straighten that up a little bit. What do you think? It's quite the crooked piece, isn't it? All right. 2 inside, 1 outside, and the felt like that. And then we're gonna do fabric. I did decide that I would use this fun hot pink polka dot as my spine. Awesome, I love it. Okay, so now we need to get a piece that's double. So I don't remember how much of this I bought, but let's kind of figure out what we're doing here. So I need it to be double this guy. So I need it to wrap around him like that and like that, so that they'll, when they come together, it'll be a meeting of the minds. However, it doesn't need to be this wide, so it needs to be about this long. Oops, I got an extra fold in there. And then for width wise, not that one, I can use this. Oops, sorry. Width wise, I need it to be a little bit wider than that. Once again, it's not rocket science, because there's always moments to fix, correct, add, be creative, make magic, whatever. If you find something that's a little short, or that you didn't like the way you cut it, or it's crooked, trust me, do it all the time. So then I'm just gonna, and I could rip this fabric, and I do normally like a ripped edge, but here we are with the scissors, just doing it. All right, so now we're gonna start building our sandwich, and it's gonna be 2 book covers with, let me put this down first. I'm gonna do fabric and felt. No hair. And then what's gonna go on top of here is book spine, or not book spine, book cover. Book cover. And we make it as straight as we can. So we put our 2 in there like that. Tyvek, and then our other piece, and then we're going to wrap it up, keeping it as straight as possible. I do like these lines here on my table because I can use them to help me keep things straight. Okay, and that's what it'll look like. Okay, I've just got some Beacon 3-in-1 glue here. I'm a fan of all the Beacon glues. Fabri-Tac is my favorite, but I just can't seem to find it anymore. So I'm just gluing these two together. I put them together and I just kind of squish them around to get the glue, hopefully to all the corners, get a good adherence. Then I'm going to glue this into the middle of the felt, so kind of like that. You're not gonna be able to see it, hopefully. So kind of right in the middle, a nice even look to it right there. You can see that it's not even there, but that's okay. And I'm going to put the Tyvek on. Whoops, I'm gonna put the glue here actually. I'm not gonna glue the Tyvek to the felt. Alright. I actually should have glued this first, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do, find my line here. I'm going to glue this sucker onto the felt, and I'm going to leave a gap here for it. By gap, I mean between the cover and the spine, leaving a little gutter here. Okay. And then over here, I'm gonna do the same thing, just put some glue on this side of the felt. So do what I say, not what I do. Glue the book cover on, then put the Tyvek on if you're doing all these layers like me. All right, leaving a little gutter, lining it up here at the bottom. Okay. Now one thing I do almost every time is I close my book. Even though it's not set, I just look to make sure my corners are mostly closed, and they are. I love that. I don't like it when my corners are not together. And then I'm going to glue the Tyvek down here. I went over, that's okay. And I'm going to press it down really good. One more time over here. Awesome. Okay, one more. It's gonna go in the middle here. I can literally look and see the edge of it, so I can line it up exactly. We're gonna put some glue on it, pretty close to the edges, but not all the way. Give it a good coating of glue. And now we wait. We get our heavy things, which I have this heavy heart. And I have the other heavy things. What else is heavy? Well, I used to have heavy things. I don't know where they go. This is pretty heavy. We put the book block on there. Scissors on top of that, and we let it dry. This is important. I mean, you can keep going, but it's just in the best interest of it to just let it dry. Okay, so I'll come back in a little bit and we will finish it up. Hey guys, I am back and I have let this dry for about 2 hours, which is probably gonna be a really good adhesion. And there is our naked spine, 3 inches. Looks good. It's got a nice fit to the corners here. They line up really well. Everything looks nice and even. So now I'm going to go ahead and cover it up with the fabric. What you can do is you can add another layer of felt here if you want something, you know, softer in here. But literally, you know, our signatures are going to be here. So I'm not even going to worry with padding this one. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this edge up right here a little bit. And I was going to use, like, what's that stuff called? Like the iron-on adhesive, Wonder Under, for this, for attaching the fabric. But after going through my sewing supplies, I realized I don't have any. I probably used it all up making masks last year, and I have never, even though, you know, I've been back to Hobby Lobby, I just don't think I've bought any more. So I kind of had to make a choice. Either one, run to Hobby Lobby and get it, or you can get it anywhere, Walmart, anywhere, or use what I have. So that's what we're doing. We are using what I literally have here in the house. And that is going to be this glue. But like I said earlier, this glue, sometimes you can see through the fabric. Not all fabrics, but lots of times, you know, especially like a cotton, you know, like what I have here. So basically what I'm going to do is, I've got this interfacing, which is adhesive only on the one side. I'm going to line this fabric with the interfacing, and then I'm going to use the glue to attach it to my spine. That's the plan. One other thing I like about this felt I have, and just so happens to be off-white, it blocks out the brown of the cardboard. So when I put it on, you get a nice finish. There's no like dark colors peeking through. But that's kind of going to be the look of it. So it's kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of liking it. It's bright. Bright and sunshiny. And that's how I like to journal most of the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this done. I've got my little ironing board here. This was my Mima's. You know, I just use it in my craft room. I think she did all her sleeves on it when she was ironing. I do not do that. I've just got my interfacing here laid out nice on my fabric. Cut a little bit smaller than the fabric. And then I'm gonna put a piece of, this is just like some newspaper over it. And just iron it on. It comes with instructions. I've read them before. I didn't read them this time. I'm sure it will be fine. So I'm just going to press. Nothing quite like iron and paper. I love it. Right now I'm just going to hit it with my iron straight up and just make sure there's good adhesion. Okay, now you have to let it cool a little bit because, you know, the glue is so hot it could move a little bit. So we just want it to cool, completely attached. Right, so that's just going to take a minute or two. All right, so let's unplug our iron and get it out of the way because safety first. Okay. Now we're done with the ironing board. Alright, now we are just gonna wrap this sucker. And since my covers are both the same, let's see if there's a top or bottom. Okay, we'll just go with that. So usually I like, so this is this, what do you call this? The edge of the fabric, so I do want to cover that up. I like the top to go over it. Usually, even though this one's a little crooked, we might trim that up. Let's just get a good look on it. Yeah, I like that. Maybe a little bit more up. And that will cover. So you want to kind of see how this is offset. You want to just kind of pull it and get it so when you line it up, it's going to be a nice finished edge. Kind of like that, okay? Now, for comparison, you can see the dark here. I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but it's just dark because I do have the brown cardboard. And you can gesso that, you can put felt over it, you can put Tyvek over it, whatever you want to do if it bothers you. But like I said, I'm going to be sewing my signatures in. You're probably never going to see it or notice that it's brown under there, so I'm not going to worry about it. But that's the difference that it does over here. Okay, that's why I was explaining that. All right, the only thing, I think I want to trim this up, but I think I'm going to wait to glue it first. So I'm off again, off again. All right, that looks good, like a good, tight, smooth finish there. So I'm going to hold this guy here. We're going to go ahead and glue it down. If you have anything bothering you, feel free to clean it up. But I usually add lots of trims, so I don't anticipate there being any, you know, if there's weird edges, I cover them up with something else, is my point. And I'm just going to take glue all over this whole thing. Normally, like I said, I would put like strips of adhesive, heat transfer adhesive on here, but I'm out, like I said, so that's why I'm using this. And while this is good, I just think the Wonder Under is just better. Or heat and bond, that's what it's called. Okay, so take it up and we smooth it out. And because we've lined it, we're not going to get any weird glue things. Now normally that doesn't bother me because I tend to put stuff on my spine too, but this fabric was just too pretty and I just wanted you to see an alternative to using the heat and bond to cover your spine. Okay, so we're going to put it here. We're going to check it again. Yep, that looks great. So we're going to put some glue here. I'm not really putting it on the edge. You can if you want. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. I'm just going to put it on and pull it up. You can see here, there is some glue transfer coming through. It's probably because of the cardboard here. You can see the darkness of it coming through. Alrighty. And like I said, I think I want to trim this up a little bit just to make it more, you're probably never going to see it. You can fold it over, make a nice, that's what I'll do. I'll make a nice finished edge. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue here. Don't be shy with the glue. Right, and there's undoubtedly at some point I'll go back and have to, you know, fix the edges and add more glue, but that's just normal. So we're gonna just pull it down and press it into place by pulling it. Okay, so maybe not 100% straight, but I like the way it looks anyway. There is our new spine. That's it. That's literally it. This is how you make a new spine in a book. The next part would be figuring out how you're going to bind your pages in here, and there's lots of options for that too, and I've done most of them, but I think I'm going to sew these in. Some excess glue there, and so you can see my edges are not perfectly glued down all the way. You know what I like to do? I leave that like that, and then when I'm doing that way I've got room to play with it if I need to. And I get a trim here. I've got some trims just sitting here. Like, say if I grab this cherry fabric and just did a little, you know, tie around thing here. So anyway, I don't normally glue these down until the very end, was my point, as I already start auditioning all the trims. All right, so we're gonna let this dry up a little bit, and then we're gonna start building our signatures. Okay, so I'm gonna make that into another video. This is how you do the spine, 3-inch spine, right, with hot pink and white polka dots. All right, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, and I will be doing another video on finishing this up, and then also as I'm journaling in it, I'll probably make some more videos. So if you don't want to miss any of that, just hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.